Well, it's November 11th, and it has been 1 year exactly since I came out to family and friends and told them I am going to start wearing wigs full time. I explained my hair loss situation and received overwhelming support. Sure, there was some fear in the beginning, but I am a dive in headfirst kind of girl, so I ripped off the proverbial band-aid and embraced it, for better or worse. I bought a lot of wigs in the past year. I mean a lot. Some were new, but many were gently used and purchased from Wig Sisters. I tried different brands, styles, and colors, and I had a blast. I wore wigs and toppers, synthetics and human hair, and I learned a lot in this first year of my wig journey, and I want to share what I learned. I learned that if you're going to wear long wigs, know that most synthetics tangle badly. Heat-friendly synthetics are even worse, and because of this, the lifespan of the long heat-friendly wig is short. It's important to do a lot of research before you purchase any wig, however. I learned that toppers are far more comfortable than full wigs if you have the right hair loss or thinning pattern to support a topper. If your situation is ideal for toppers, they are most definitely the way to go. You need to take into consideration the color for blending with your bio hair and the length of the topper versus the length of your bio hair. I learned that human hair is vastly better than synthetic. There, I said it. And the higher price point is justifiable. The extra mile that you have to go to get it styled is also worth the result. I learned that there is an art to blending and integrating your bio hair into a topper or wig, and it lends to a realistic/believable result. Color selection is key. If you have a wig that is completely different than your bio hair, or you don't have bio hair, then you don't need to concern yourself with it. A lot of people are wearing alternative hair more than you think. And this is something that I discovered because I can recognize a wig or a topper because you just know when you're used to it and you see it on yourself all the time. These can range from extensions to messy buns to fake ponytails to toppers and wigs. It's just not that uncommon anymore, and it's not as taboo either, which is cool. I have enjoyed a diverse collection of synthetic wigs that allowed me to change my look completely anytime I wanted. There was a time when I could have worn a different wig every day for 3 weeks straight and never had a repeat. And I'm not even including the toppers, just wigs. But as much fun as that was, in time I just got over it. I began thinning out my collection as I found what truly worked for me. I'm speaking of practicality as well as aesthetic preferences. Now, it took me the better part of a year to find what works best and looks best on me. Straight hair or subtle beach waves looks better on me than curly hair. Light blonde, medium blonde, ash blonde, strawberry blonde look better on me than darker shades, brunettes and reds. If I'm wearing a synthetic wig or topper, it's usually best for me to keep them shoulder length or shorter. But I prefer longer hair with human hair pieces. I have learned that I don't like the way wigs, basically the cap, feel around my ears. That is really the only pet peeve I have. The ear tabs almost always bother me, either in the front or in the back, or both at the same time. That has a lot to do with why I prefer a topper. The downside of wearing a topper is that you have to stay close to the color of your bio hair. And by the way, I have not colored my hair in over a year, so I have a lot more gray than I ever dreamed I had. I have learned that some brands have beautiful styles, but the fibers, not so bueno. Fine fibers tangle and break off a little bit more easily, and that makes some brands a deal breaker for me. Now, it may not be the same with every single style by that brand, but I am finding that styles like Ellen Villa that really appeal to me may not be the best suited for me. For instance, I bought Arrow in a beautiful blonde and it was gorgeous, but the fibers were so fine that they flew all over the place. They were very tangly and very troublesome. So when I wore her, I just really didn't enjoy it. I was always fretting with her. On the flip side, Noriko has the best synthetic fibers, in my opinion, because they are thicker and they hold up really well. It's just something about them. I just love them. But it's very hard to find a style from Noriko that isn't packed with permatease. Now, permatease is fine in some cases, but sometimes less is more. Noriko would be the one synthetic I would wear in a long style, as an exception to the aforementioned comment to stay away from long synthetics due to tangling. They just don't tangle that much and they come out better. I have learned in this 365-day journey that I would rather have a small collection of human hair wigs and toppers than a huge collection of synthetics. And this is probably the most shocking thing that I've discovered about myself, because at the beginning of my helper hair journey, I felt completely different. If I had $3,000 to spend on 10 synthetics or 2 to 3 human hair pieces, I would have gone for quantity over quality without hesitation, but not anymore. It only took buying one human hair topper to convert me. After that, I began selling off my collection. I had 23 synthetic wigs, so I could take the money and buy a human hair wig, which is exactly what I did. I am now down to one synthetic wig, yay, and 4 synthetic toppers. I have 2 human hair toppers and 4 human hair wigs, 2 of which were pre-owned. Those 2 have never been worn, as they are with a stylist getting a custom color job. So I'm excited about seeing how those work out. So in the last year, I have learned tricks and techniques because I immersed myself in learning everything I can about helper hair. I found that in time, wearing wigs and toppers became as natural to me as wearing makeup. But the impact has been profound. It has given me a sense of confidence that you just can't put a price tag on. I'm glad I started wearing alternative hair when I did, because my bio hair continues to get thinner and more sparse around my hairline and temples. So, in the last 12 months of what felt like perpetual motion and searching, I feel like I have finally come to a rest, fully satisfied and fulfilled in the journey and what I have found as results. I like what I like, and I'm not accountable to anyone for my choices that I make concerning my hair. I really don't care if people know or what their personal opinion is about my hair choices. I am unapologetically me, for better or worse. Honestly, I'm the only one who needs to feel good about my appearance, from the shade of my lipstick to the color of my blouse. My choice of alternative hair is just one more thing that is my personal preference. And not worrying about sparse, ratty looking bio hair with my scalp showing anymore is life-changing. So I'm going to share with you just a few pros and cons of synthetic wigs and toppers, and pros and cons of human hair wigs and toppers. I'm sure I would think of more if I took a little bit more time, but I just kind of threw these together. Pros of synthetic wigs and toppers. The price. Much more affordable than human hair. Style retention. So with synthetics, it memorizes the curl pattern or the style. So it's the same thing. Every single time you wash it, it goes right back to the same style, so long as you have not altered it with heat or steam. Another pro of the synthetic wig or topper is that it is impervious to humidity and weather. You can just pop it on. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's going to look fabulous. And along those lines, synthetic fibers are really a throw and go. You don't have to do much to it. The cons of synthetics: fibers that tangle or clump. And I am speaking to regular fibers and heat-friendly fibers. And you have to be very, very careful around heat and flames when you wear any kind of synthetic, because you will melt your fibers. So when you're cooking, you have to either take your wig off or your topper off, or you need to be very mindful and avoid opening the oven. You have to stand out of the way. You have to make sure that you're not standing over a crock pot or a boiling pot or anything that's generating heat. So, if you're not really diligent, you can have a disaster on your hands. Another con is taming unruly synthetic fibers. And I'm talking about some of these have the worst flyaways you can imagine. And you get static going, and sometimes it's really hard to get rid of it. So that's definitely a con. Fibers can itch when they come into contact with your skin. Keep in mind that this is not hair. These are synthetic fibers, so they can be irritating. And you have to be very, very delicate with your synthetic pieces when you are combing them. That's another con. All right, so for human hair wigs and toppers, one of the pros is the realistic appearance. Come on, it's human hair. It's exactly the same thing that was growing out of your head, only better. So yeah, it's going to look like it's real. So it can be dyed and it can be colored, which is great. You can use heat tools to style it just like you do your bio hair. The comfort, it's unparalleled. The fibers, it's not fiber, it's hair, so it doesn't itch when it touches your body or your skin. The cons would be price. Yeah, they're very expensive. Very expensive. But again, like I said in the beginning, they are worth it. The availability can be an issue. Now, I have run into this. I don't shop in boutiques because they are hella expensive, way more than what you can find online. So I primarily buy online. And when you go online and you're looking for a human hair piece, these are not just generated out of a factory. So you can't necessarily just get the same thing everybody else is getting from a website. A lot of times this is a one and done. If you're lucky enough to time it right and get a hold of it, it's like winning the lottery. You get it, you pay for it, you have it shipped, and you got something that, probably a couple of dozen other people were trying to get at the very same time or more. So, that's one of the frustrating things. So you can't always find exactly what you want, but you got to plug away, because I'm telling you, it is so worth it when you get one that you really, really love and that looks and feels great. Finally, the last con that I have for human hair wigs and toppers is they are subject to the weather, just like your bio hair. So some fibers react, not fibers, some hair reacts more to humidity than others. So, you just got to deal with it. And on rainy days and high humidity days, I'm going to my synthetics because I don't want to deal with my hair being limp or frizzy. So that's why I continue to have both, and will always continue to have both, so that depending on what's going on, I can look polished and look my best. So I hope that some of these things that I learned have been helpful to you. Again, 365 days of wearing wigs, and a lot of times, just going through a different one every single day or every couple of days has been exciting, has been fun. It's kind of like playing dress up, and I loved exploring new looks, but yeah, after a year, I'm ready to settle down and slip into something that I know is me and comfortable. And, it's just, I think that once you've done it all, then you're just like, yeah, I did that and I'm good now. But it is still fun to put on something a little edgy and wild and just watch the reactions. I don't always want to be very conservative. Sometimes I want to be a little crazy, and that's why I'll always have those pieces in my collection. I hope that everyone is healthy and safe, and know that praying for our country and all of us. And, times are tough, and we've got to stick together and keep a positive mindset and, look after yourself and look after each other. Bye.